All right, I'm gonna do something I don't normally do on the show. I was sent a video, and I was told, don't watch this, just watch it on the show for the first time and react to it then. Spectrum News went out and spoke to some people about what took place on Sunday at Madison Square Garden. And what I am told is in this video are people twisting themselves into pretzels to justify continuing to support Donald Trump after the Puerto Rico is a pile of garbage Nazi rally fiasco. So let's take a listen. I've not looked at this before. That's kind of part of the exercise. Let's see what we make of it.
What do you think about what took place at his rally at MSG last night?
I think it was definitely poor timing. It was absolutely bad timing. I was happy his campaign said something immediately. I do think he needs to address it. I think the reality is there's several landfills in Puerto Rico that are taking over the water system.
Oh no. This guy's saying it is a pile of garbage. He's like, no, there's landfills there. In some sense, it is an island of garbage.
Poured into the oceans and really polluting and damaging the island. That could have been what he was referencing to.
Oh, that's brilliant. Tony Hinchcliffe, when he said there's a pile of garbage sitting in the ocean, he means that too much of Puerto Rico has now been taken over by landfills. I'm guessing that's what Tony meant. Oh, that is, wow.
But it was just poor time and just poor choice of words that I think that folks that are on the fence really led them away from Trump at this time. So I think that's why strategically he needs to address it.
Yeah.
Did it at all make you question your support for him?
No.
No. It didn't at all. I just think it was just another poor timing for someone at his rally.
Right.
I do believe it could hurt, but I also learned that the reason the reference was made is because there's 29 dump sites, garbage dump sites in Puerto Rico. And
This guy's so I did not hear that they came up with the line that there is a garbage problem in Puerto Rico, and therefore it may have been a commentary on that. It's wild that talking point reached all of these people.
the Biden administration, Biden-Harris administration are not allowing them to burn it. So they're the ones turning Puerto Rico into a garbage dump.
Wow.
That's what I heard. I'm
He's like, it is a garbage dump. So Tony Hinchcliffe was right. I guess that the idea is that these are all Hispanic voters.
not sure how true it is. Puerto Rico's only 70 miles by 35 miles, 29 garbage dumps that they can't do anything with it. I mean, you figure it out.
Does the comment and the fact that it took place at one of his largest events of the year make you question your support for him at all?
No, not at all.
No.
It really doesn't, because I'm one that I research. I will look into what was said. Was this what he really said?
Oh, wow. So this guy's playing the thing of like, I haven't even seen the comment kind of idea.
And having gone to 3 rallies, worked 2 of them, and another one tomorrow, I've heard what he says, and I've lived what he did 4 years, let's say 8 years ago.
So this guy says he does a lot of research, but he actually doesn't know what was even said. It sounds like he's not really researching then.
So for me, no. I could understand a lot of people being upset, but the reference was made due to the garbage dumps that are in
Right.
Puerto Rico that the Biden-Harris.
Do we think Tony Hinchcliffe has a deep understanding of refuse removal in Puerto Rico? Do we think that?
Administration aren't allowing anyone to do anything about it. So they're just piling up. So that's where the reference came.
Yeah.
People need to wake up and realize
Gold medal for mental gymnastics to this guy.
they're not going to do nothing for us.
The first thing I would say about the comedian last night is comedians are
Okay, so I guess it's not all Hispanic voters. This guy, I guess, is not Hispanic. It can be hard to tell, right? I mean, I'm Hispanic. Who knows?
comedians. And sometimes we have to laugh at ourselves, and sometimes we have to laugh at situations. And comedians come off with sometimes their joke is great, and sometimes it's an epic fail. But I'm not going to sit and harp on what a comedian said. If the comedian's talking about failed leadership, and that was, we don't know the context of how the joke was written.
Of course, we do know. We know. All of a sudden, it's a mystery what the joke was or anything about it.
But the fact is, if he's talking about the context of failed leadership has turned your country into a trash country, then look at Donald Trump, what 8 years ago, he talked about Baltimore being a shithole city, and then Scott Pressler went in and cleaned up the city, started cleaning up trash all over the country, and look at the movement that turned into. So sometimes you just have to create an awareness about something in order to...
Tony Hinchcliffe did Puerto Rico a service by saying, hey, your country's been turned into trash, even though it's not your country because it's the United States. So in reality, it's like, oh, this has happened under our watch. And so we are just putting everybody on notice about it. So now Puerto Rico is going to fix itself thanks to Tony Hinchcliffe, we're supposed to believe.
Make a positive effect in the end.
My sponsor, who is Puerto Rican, he's the one that told me, and luckily he's still a fan of Trump, and he knows how bad Kamala Harris has lied to this country. And
Kamala.
he basically said she thinks we're idiots, and she continues to lie to us.
She specifically said in a recent interview, I would never say that Trump supporters are idiots.
I'm power quoting, and he says, I'm still going to vote for Donald Trump, but that could have persuaded people. And he also said that he thought that, if anything, he must have been paid by the Kamala Harris people to say something.
Tony Hinchcliffe told that joke because Kamala paid, even though the Trump organizers vetted the material and put it on the teleprompter. I think I've seen enough. This goes on a little bit more. If mental gymnastics were an Olympic sport, all of these people would be tied for the gold medal. So what's the takeaway? The takeaway is the election is in, 96 hours? We're not going to change the minds of these people in the next 96 hours if this is the sort of stuff they say. Let's just make sure we vote in such numbers that we make their votes irrelevant. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. If you stay on top of the news, you follow politics and elections, why not win cash for it? Manifold is the app and website where you can win cash for predicting what will happen next in politics, and it is free to play. Questions like, will Trump win the presidential election? Will Kamala Harris flip a state? Will political commentator Destiny appear on Joe Rogan's podcast? If you predict correctly, you win play money called Mana or Sweep Cash. One Sweep Cash is redeemable for a US dollar. So if you predict right, you can turn it into cash. And the platform gives you free Mana and Sweep Cash to play with every single day. Go to manifold.markets/Pacman and you'll get free extra Sweep Cash just for signing up to start you on your journey. No purchase necessary to win cash or prizes. If you want to go bigger, you can use my link to get 40 extra Sweep Cash when you spend $20 on Mana. If you put that 40 Sweep Cash on Trump losing the election, at the current odds, you win 70 Sweep Cash if he loses, redeemable for $70 cash. You must be a U.S. resident, 18 or older. See terms and conditions. The link is in the description.